Hey everyone, and welcome to RUBIN'S Mind Lab, where we break down the latest research into what it really means. Ever wonder if computers can understand us as well as we understand each other? Well, this new paper from a bunch of psychology experts looks at how artificial intelligence, or AI, is changing how we study ourselves, especially our differences. This is a big deal. AI is everywhere now, from the apps on our phones to the way we work. Psychologists, the people who study our minds and behavior, are thinking a lot about this. They want to know how AI affects us and how we can use it to understand ourselves better. So what is this paper all about? A large group of psychologists got together to share their thoughts. They focused on three main ways AI is connected to studying us as individuals. First, AI as a tool for research. Second, how we interact with AI and how that works. And third, how AI can help us with testing and assessment. They're using AI as a general term from older computer learning methods to the new super smart language models, like the ones that can write stories or answer questions. Let's dive into the first area. Sometimes in psychology, we have lots of similar ideas or words that mean almost the same thing. This can make it hard to compare research findings and build on what we already know. This is where AI, especially these big language models, can help. Imagine these AI systems as super smart translators. They can take our questionnaires or descriptions of what we're measuring and turn them into numbers. This helps scientists see which questions are really asking the same thing and which concepts are just named differently but mean the same thing, or vice versa. It is like cleaning up the messy filing cabinet of psychological knowledge. This is pretty mind-blowing. AI can actually look at the text of questionnaire items and, with some training, predict how good those items are for measuring something. It can estimate how consistent they are, how well they work together, and even how they relate to other scales. This could speed up the process of creating new tests or finding existing ones that fit our needs. Think of it as a super fast initial check before you even start testing a new questionnaire. AI also opens doors to new kinds of information. We used to need people to manually read through lots of text or look at pictures to figure out what was going on. But AI can now process these unstructured things, like written notes or photos, much more easily. And what about all the data we create just by living our phones, our social media? AI can analyze these digital footprints to find patterns that tell us something about our personalities or how we're feeling. This is a huge source of information that was hard to use before. Here is a really interesting and debated idea. Instead of getting real people to participate in studies, what if AI could pretend to be participants? These are called silicon samples. It sounds futuristic, right? It could make research faster and cheaper, especially for sensitive topics. But the scientists are quick to point out there are still big questions about this. This is the core of their caution. AI offers amazing efficiency, but there are risks we don't fully understand yet. For example, studies using AI-generated participants sometimes show bigger results. Is that because the AI data is cleaner, or is the AI just overestimating things? We don't know for sure. The scientists are saying we need more research and careful thinking. They highlight the need for methodological rigor. That means things like checking AI outputs for errors, comparing AI results with real people, and being totally open about how they use the AI. This is key to making sure AI is a helpful tool in research, not a misleading one. So, to sum up this first part, AI can be an incredible assistant for psychologists, helping to organize knowledge, speed up test creation, and unlock new data sources. But we have to be super careful. Critical validation, transparency, and a thorough approach are essential if we want to integrate AI into research responsibly. Now, let's move to the second big topic, how we humans interact with AI. This is all about the design of that interface, the way we communicate and work with these intelligent systems. Just like not everyone is equally good at using a smartphone, people differ in how well they can use AI. They call this AI literacy. It is not just about knowing the buttons. It is about understanding what AI can and can't do, being able to check its output critically, and thinking about how it works. Using AI well is like a creative dance. It involves knowing what you want to achieve, understanding the context, asking follow-up questions. If you don't get what you need, and considering different possibilities, your existing knowledge, your beliefs about how things work, and your feelings about AI all play a role. This is where it gets really interesting. When AI starts to act like a companion, a helper, or even a friend, our individual differences really show up. Studies show that talking to AI can feel a lot like talking to another person. How much we like or trust an AI companion can depend not just on how it is built, but on us. If we tend to see human qualities in non-human things, we might feel more connected to an AI. The scientists want to figure out for whom and when this social AI is helpful or potentially harmful. This is a fascinating idea. Can AI have a personality? The researchers explained that AI, especially these big language models, can have consistent ways of responding that make us perceive them as having a personality. Think about how some chatbots are friendly. Some are very direct and others are more creative. But it is important to remember this isn't human personality. AI doesn't have a brain or body. Its personality comes from how it is programmed and trained, and it mostly shows up in its language. And unlike human personality, AIs can be changed and adjusted more easily. Developers can fine-tune them to act a certain way, and even users can influence their responses. So even though it is not a real personality, we do see these consistent patterns. And designers can deliberately create AI that seems to have a specific personality. This opens up cool research possibilities. We can use AI to pretend to be people with certain personality traits and study how they interact with us, or even with each other. This could help us understand complex social dynamics better. They stress that understanding how to use AI responsibly is becoming a vital skill. Like reading or writing, they think we need to develop proper ways to measure this AI literacy. And they can use their expertise in personality psychology to help design AI that works better with individual human personalities, in areas like therapy or at work. This definitely needs teamwork with engineers and other psychologists. Alright, let's move to the third and final area, how AI is changing how we build and use tests to measure things like personality and abilities. Creating tests, especially well-designed ones, is hard and time-consuming. AI can help here. For example, it can help write realistic scenarios for tests that measure how someone might act in a particular situation. Think of those tests where you have to choose the best response to a tricky situation. AI can help generate lots of these vignette items quickly, and it can even create different versions of the same test that measure the same things equally well. AI can even guess how well certain questions will work before you give them to a lot of people. This could save a ton of time and effort that used to be spent on pilot testing. Another exciting possibility is using AI to score open-ended answers like essays or descriptions. These kinds of answers give us really detailed, personal information, but they've been too hard to score consistently by hand. It turns out that these big language models, when trained properly, can score these open answers much better and more consistently than older automated methods. This could unlock new ways to assess things like creativity. This is where AI really shines. We're generating so much digital data every day. AI can help us use this data, from our smartphone use to our online activity, to understand our personalities and abilities without us even taking a formal test. They call this personality computing. It is about using AI to analyze our everyday digital behavior and link it to well-known personality traits, like being outgoing or conscientious. But just like with research tools, there are serious considerations for AI in assessment. The scientists emphasize that AI-driven tests need to meet the same high standards as traditional ones. When we talk about test quality, we talk about objectivity. Administering a test the same way for everyone is usually fine with AI, but scoring and interpreting the results can be tricky. If the AI's decision-making process isn't clear, or if the data it learned from was biased, that impacts objectivity. They say we still need expert human judgment. Reliability, meaning if a test gives consistent results, is also a challenge. Some AI models can give very different answers if you ask the same thing in a slightly different way. And commercial AI models update frequently, meaning we have to keep checking if they're still measuring accurately. Validity, which means the test actually measures what it is supposed to measure, also needs careful attention. They want to make sure we're not just looking at whether the AI score matches another score, but that it truly reflects the underlying concept. They also call for explainable methods, so we can understand how the AI is making its assessments. A huge concern is bias. If the data the AI learned from reflects societal biases, the AI will perpetuate them. This means we need to make sure the AI is fair to everyone, regardless of their background. The potential for AI to help us understand mental states early through everyday digital data is huge. Imagine catching signs of stress or anxiety early and getting help, but this needs to be done responsibly. This is their main point. We need strong standards to ensure these AI tools are high quality and fair, especially since assessment results can have big impacts on people's lives. They mentioned that these ideas are already being integrated into official guidelines for tests. And importantly, they believe psychologists need thorough training, both when they start and throughout their careers, to understand and apply these new standards for AI. So wrapping up, these psychologists from the German Psychological Society have given us a clear and thoughtful perspective on AI. Their field is all about understanding who we are as individuals and how we differ. They remind us that measurement, especially of psychological traits, always has some error. AI can be a powerful new tool, but it can also introduce its own errors. Just like we wouldn't use a new test without checking it thoroughly, we need to do the same with AI applications. And their core mission is to understand individual differences. They emphasize that the way we interact with AI isn't one size fits all. It matters how different people use AI and how different AI systems behave. They see a vital role for psychologists to help ensure AI is developed in a way that respects these individual differences. They touch on the long-term vision. Artificial intelligence is a metaphor. Right now, AI is good at specific tasks. But what about the future? With more general AI, this is a huge question, and they strongly believe that technology developers shouldn't be the only ones thinking about it. Psychology has a crucial part to play in guiding the development of AI so that it benefits us. It is about building a responsible relationship between us and these powerful new tools. This research highlights the exciting possibilities AI offers for understanding ourselves better, while also providing a much needed dose of caution and emphasizing the ethical considerations we must keep in mind as this technology continues to evolve. What are your thoughts on AI in research and our daily lives? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to RUBIN'S Mind Lab for more science insights, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.